It was a Saturday evening wrapped in silence, the kind that made every ticking second echo through the empty house. Daniel had left early that morning for another business trip, his fourth this month. And though I was used to his absence, that night felt particularly hollow. The clock struck 8 as I poured myself a glass of red wine, the soft hum of jazz filling the background. Outside, the rain fell in gentle sheets, blurring the glow of the city lights. I sat near the window, watching droplets race down the glass, each one mirroring the thoughts running through my mind. Loneliness had become an uninvited companion in our marriage, creeping in quietly until it felt permanent. I wondered if Daniel even noticed anymore. Then my phone buzzed, a message from Aaron. "Hey, I'm nearby." Thought I'd check in. "You doing okay?" Aaron, Daniel's best friend. He'd always been thoughtful, the kind of man who noticed the small things Daniel no longer did. I hesitated before replying. "Sure, come by." Maybe I just wanted company, or maybe I needed to feel seen. When he arrived, the air changed instantly. He brought warmth with him, the kind that filled the silence. We talked easily, about work, about life, about the strain of pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. One glass of wine turned into two, and laughter turned into long, quiet pauses. The rain outside grew heavier, as if echoing the tension in the room. Our eyes met more than once, longer each time. There was an unspoken understanding between us, a dangerous familiarity that neither of us wanted to admit. I felt my heartbeat quicken when his hand brushed mine, just for a second. But it was enough to ignite something neither of us expected. "I should go," he said softly, though he didn't move. "We shouldn't," I whispered, but my voice trembled. He hesitated, eyes searching mine for permission I couldn't give, yet couldn't deny. When he finally kissed me, it was slow, hesitant, but real. Too real. When morning came, he was gone. The room smelled faintly of rain and regret. I stood by the window again, clutching my coffee with shaking hands, whispering to myself, "I hope no one discovers our secret." The days that followed were unbearable. Every morning, I woke up with a knot in my chest, the memory of that night replaying in flashes. I couldn't escape. The sound of the rain, the warmth of Aaron's touch, the taste of guilt on my lips, it all haunted me. When Daniel returned from his business trip, I could barely meet his eyes. He walked through the door, tired but smiling, carrying the faint scent of airports and aftershave. "Missed you," he said, kissing my forehead gently. The words made my heart twist. I smiled back, but it felt forced, hollow. Every moment beside him reminded me of the secret I was hiding, one that could destroy everything we had built together. Aaron didn't text for a few days, and I was grateful for the silence. But eventually, a message appeared on my screen. "We need to talk. I can't stop thinking about what happened." My hands trembled as I read it. I deleted the message immediately, terrified Daniel might see. Then came the dinner party, Daniel's idea. "Let's invite Aaron and Lisa over." "It's been a while since we all caught up," he said cheerfully. I froze for a second, my stomach churning. I couldn't refuse without raising suspicion, so I forced a smile and nodded. The night arrived faster than I wanted. I spent hours preparing the food, trying to distract myself. But my hands shook with every movement. When Aaron and Lisa walked in, I felt my heart drop. He looked at me briefly, a fleeting glance filled with tension and guilt. Dinner went smoothly on the surface. Laughter filled the room, but beneath it, I could feel the storm brewing in my chest. At one point, Lisa laughed and said, "You and Aaron always seem so comfortable together, like old friends." I nearly choked on my drink. Daniel laughed, agreeing, completely oblivious. My pulse raced as Aaron's hand brushed mine under the table, a small, electric touch that sent panic rushing through me. I excused myself to the kitchen, pretending to fetch more wine. Leaning against the counter, I tried to catch my breath. The weight of what we'd done pressed harder than ever. From the other room, I could still hear Daniel's laughter. Warm, trusting, and undeserved. And in that moment, guilt became my shadow. A week after the dinner party, the fragile balance I'd been clinging to finally shattered. It was late on a Thursday night when I found Daniel sitting at the dining table, his face pale, his phone in his hand. The lights were dim, casting long shadows across the room. Something in the air felt heavy or wrong. "Emily," he said quietly, his voice trembling in a way I had never heard before. "Can you explain this?" He turned the phone toward me. My stomach dropped. There it was, and a message from Aaron. Just one line. But enough to destroy everything. Last night keeps replaying in my head. I can't stop thinking about you. I froze. My throat went dry. I wanted to speak, to explain, but no excuse could erase those words. Daniel, please, it's not. Don't lie to me, he snapped, standing so suddenly that his chair fell backward. His voice was sharp, but beneath it was pain. Deep, aching pain. I trusted you. I trusted both of you. Tears blurred my vision. It was a mistake, I whispered. It happened once. I swear it meant nothing. He laughed bitterly, shaking his head. Nothing? You betrayed me with my best friend, Emily. How could that mean nothing? I stepped toward him, but he moved away as if my touch burned. The silence that followed was unbearable. The ticking clock, the hum of the refrigerator, every sound felt louder than my own heartbeat. Finally, he said in a low voice, I don't even know who you are anymore. He turned away, his shoulders trembling. I need to get out of here. He grabbed a bag and began throwing clothes into it, ignoring my pleas. Daniel, please don't leave. We can fix this. I'll do anything, I cried, but he wouldn't look at me. When the front door finally closed behind him, the house fell into a suffocating silence. I sank to the floor, my body shaking with sobs. Everything I loved, every piece of my life, had crumbled in a single night. Aaron called the next day, but I couldn't bring myself to answer. There was nothing left to say. The secret we'd tried to bury had surfaced, and it had destroyed everything in its path: love, trust, and the life I once knew. Months passed, yet the echoes of that night refused to fade. The house felt emptier than ever, a constant reminder of what I had lost. Daniel and I tried to talk a few times, but every conversation ended in silence or tears. Eventually, we stopped trying. The distance between us became permanent, an invisible wall built from betrayal and regret. One cold morning, he packed the rest of his things and left the key on the table. No goodbyes, no anger, just quiet acceptance that our story had ended. After he left, the days blurred together. I went to work, came home, and existed in the shell of a life that no longer felt like mine. The world outside moved on, but I was stuck, replaying every decision, every moment that led me here. The nights were the worst. The bed felt too big, the silence too loud, and my mind wouldn't stop whispering what-ifs. Aaron moved away a few weeks later. I heard through mutual friends that he'd broken up with Lisa. He sent one final message before disappearing. I'll always remember you. I'm sorry for everything. I never replied. There was nothing left to say, only memories that neither of us could erase. Sometimes I'd stand by the same window where it all began. The rain still fell the same way, streaking the glass like tears. I'd hold my coffee and stare into the distance, wondering if Daniel ever thought about me. I wondered if he hated me, or worse, if he had stopped caring altogether. I tried to rebuild myself piece by piece. Therapy, new routines, quiet nights alone. They helped. But the guilt lingered like a scar that refused to fade. Love, I realized, wasn't destroyed by hatred. It was undone by a single moment of weakness that could never be taken back. Years later, when people ask about my past, I smile and say little. Some secrets are better left unspoken, not because they're forgotten, but because they're unforgettable. And even now, when it rains and the world feels still, I find myself whispering into the empty room. I hope no one ever discovers our secret, but I know I'll never forget it.